Are you guys ready to build a gaming or a streaming PC? We will be using one of the most popular Ryzen 5 3600 CPU and RTX 2060 Super. It was one of the best combo for around $1000 a while ago. And in theory, you should be able to get much more performance for the same price with an RTX 3060 or 3060 Ti, but as we all know, it's nearly impossible to get those for MSRP price at the moment. But maybe you can get a cheaper second-hand 2060 Super locally. So let's build it and check on how our combo performs in gaming. Most of the parts are oriented towards a mid-range build and also the best value you can get for your dollar, even though we got some RGB fans as well. But in general, the purpose was to make a high FPS 1080p and 1440p gaming machine. Let's start with a motherboard. ASRock B550M Pro 4, a budget B550 motherboard with decent features like ALC 1200 audio codec, plenty of USB ports and a good CPU upgrade path. And so later on you can swap to Ryzen 7 5800X with no props. Ryzen 5 3600, one of the best value CPUs in recent years, but be sure it's not overpriced in your region, as I saw it's going even for $220 in some places. And so an Intel system with a 10th Gen i5 10400F could be the better value choice in such cases. CPU installation is quite easy. Pull up this ARM match triangle on a CPU and a motherboard socket and lock it in place. But in case you want a step-by-step guide, I will link a video at the top right corner. We will be using a stock CPU cooler as it's decent enough for maintaining Ryzen 5 temps. But in case you're planning to do some productivity stuff and keep your CPU at 100% for a prolonged time, you may want to get a budget tower cooler. Stock cooler installation is also straightforward. No need to apply a thermal paste as it's already pre-applied, so just place it over a CPU with the AMD logo left. Screw in a diagonal pattern, connect to a motherboard and you are done. Next we have a 16GB memory kit to install. And again, these sticks are non-RGB and more affordable ones, but in a value-oriented build they will work just fine. You should check the motherboard's manual on which slots you need to install your memory kit, but most of the time for two sticks it's the second and fourth DIMM slots. Firstly, pull back the tab, then align a gap on a RAM stick and slide them in. As for storage, we will be using 1TB NVMe SSD from a Crucial. It's more of a budget NVMe model that can reach up to 2400 megabits per second read and 1800 megabits per second write speeds. It's 4 times faster than a regular SATA SSD, so it's definitely more than enough for gaming. Firstly, remove the M.2 shield. Insert your M.2 drive into a slot at around 30° angle. And in some cases you will need to use included small M.2 screw, or in our case, secure it together with an M.2 shield. In case gaming library is really huge, just add 2 or 4 TB 7200 RPM hard drive. And if you feel like building a similar PC, I will link all the parts I'm using in the description below. So, a motherboard is ready and we need to prepare our PC case. We will be using MB311L from Cooler Master. It's a nice budget micro ATX PC case with a mesh front panel. There is an RGB version of this case, but I've got a regular one. The first thing to do, insert a motherboard's I/O shield. Next, removing the rear stock fan, as we will be using 5 RGB fans from a Deepcool. 2 at the front as an intake, 2 at the top and 1 at the back as an exhaust. In this fan configuration we will have a negative air pressure, and so we will need to adjust fan speed later on in order to achieve a neutral or slightly positive air pressure. Add a motherboard, screw with an included screws, and let's move on to a power supply. For this build we will be using a modular 650W Gold certified power supply from a Cooler Master. 650 watts is more than enough for RTX 2060 Super, 3060 Ti or AMD's RX 6700 XT models. In case you want to save a few bucks, you could go for a bronze certified or even with a non-modular power supply. Before installing a GPU, it's a good idea to connect all the cables to your motherboard. And here comes a GPU. Why RTX 2060 Super? Well, I was building this PC back in November 2020, and so RTX 3060 was not released yet, and later the price of the new RTX series skyrocketed very quickly. And so for 1080p high FPS or even 1440p medium to high settings, RTX 2060 Super is really fine. I will share some 1440p gaming benchmarks in a minute, but before that, let's enjoy our build's B-roll. In case you have any questions regarding this build, just post your comment below. Also, I've decided to start some private consultation sessions. It's for anyone that is planning to build a PC and would like to book a dedicated time for making a personal PC parts list for a certain budget, or just need some guidance on the best value and quality PC parts in your country. So if you are interested, you can do it by messaging Epic Game Tech on Instagram or Facebook page. Also, you can check possible timings in a calendar I will link below. As always, you will see some numbers from a Cinebench, 3D Mark, as well as some gaming benchmarks. If it's too fast, feel free to pause or use a specific benchmark timestamp below. So even with RTX 2060 Super, using 1440p you can definitely play some competitive titles on a 144Hz monitor. Also, it's managed to get 50 to 60 FPS in some modern titles using ultra settings, meaning using high to medium settings you can easily get 60 to 80 FPS if needed. Share, like, subscribe or register for a consultation in case you're planning to build and you need some advice. And definitely check even more PC builds right here.